Tropical cyclones are regarded as the most devastating natural calamities, leading huge loss of life and property. But the cyclones are also responsible for periodic monsoons in many parts of the world. How are these cyclones formed? Spinning storm that rotates around a low pressure center is called as a cyclone. The low pressure center is referred as the eye of the storm. The term cyclone actually refers to several different types of storms. They occur in different places, and some occur over land while others occur over water. What they all have in common is that they are spinning storms rotating around that low pressure center. Location of the storm determines the name of the cyclone. For example, if the storm occurs in the Atlantic Ocean and Northeast Pacific, it is called as a hurricane. If it occurs in the Northwest Pacific, it is called as a typhoon. And in the South Pacific and Indian Ocean, these are called as tropical cyclones. There are three types of cyclones, namely tropical, polar, and mesocyclone. Of all three, tropical cyclones are most devastating. Tropical cyclones are what most people are familiar with because these are cyclones that occur over tropical ocean regions. Hurricanes and typhoons are actually types of tropical cyclones, but they have different names as that it's clear where that storm is occurring. We can also further describe tropical cyclones based on their wind speeds. They are called category 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, increasing with intensity and wind speed as the number increases. A category 1 cyclone is the weakest with the wind speeds of around 74 to 95 miles per hour. A category 5 cyclone, on the other hand, is extremely dangerous and has the potential for major damage. Category 5 cyclones have wind speeds of 155 miles per hour and above. In order for us to understand the cyclones, we need to understand the factors that are responsible for its formation. They are heat on ocean or land surface, wind and its pressure gradient, and Coriolis force. These three factors together in order causes the formation of cyclones. Solar radiation heats up Earth's surface. As equator and tropical regions receive most amount of sunlight per area, these regions heat up quickly compared to subtropical and polar regions. This is why tropical regions are warm. What happens to this heated water is what we will discuss later, but ocean surface with a temperature higher than 27 degrees Celsius forms a base for cyclone. The wind is moving air that moves due to the differences between air pressure within our atmosphere. Air under high pressure floats towards areas of low pressure. The greater the difference in pressure, the faster the air flows. But is this wind good or bad? Wind carries the monsoon clouds from one place to another, thus causing rains in regions away from water bodies. It helps in process of pollination and soil erosion. It increases the availability of carbon dioxide to plants for the process of photosynthesis by creating turbulence and increases transpiration. But sometimes wind causes severe destruction too. Wind plays a major role in cyclone formation. Winds travel from high pressure to low pressure. But what is high pressure and low pressure? Air pressure is the weight of air molecules pressing down on the earth. The pressure of the air molecules changes as you move upward from sea level into the atmosphere. The highest pressure is at sea level where the density of the air molecules is the greatest. Warm air areas have low pressure, hence tropical regions have low pressure. So now we understood that how heat, wind and its pressure gradient plays a major role in cyclone formation. While all this is happening, there is another phenomena that happens which determines the location of the cyclone and its occurrence, that is Coriolis force. Earth rotates from west to east, hence sun rises in the east. While the earth rotates in its axis, a perpendicular force is generated on earth. Winds and ocean water flowing from the poles towards tropics deflect right in northern hemisphere and deflects left in southern hemisphere. This force exerted on earth is called as Coriolis force. Low pressure in cyclone epicenter attracts high pressure cold air from surroundings. Low pressure region is a warm region on ocean surface in which air expands and rises. This rising air contains huge amount of moisture. The high pressure surrounding winds try to replace the low pressure regions. The rising air convert into air moisture and forms thick clouds. Right at this point, the water starts to spin due to Coriolis force. In the northern hemisphere, the cool air rushing towards the center of the storm is deflected to the right. This creates a spin in counterclockwise direction. In the southern hemisphere, the cool air rushing towards the center of the storm is deflected to the left. This creates a spin in clockwise direction. The Coriolis force is zero at the equator. As a result, there will be no cyclones at the equator, but it increases with the latitude. About 70% of the cyclonic activity occurs between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. This process happens until the supply of moisture is cut off or until the wind whirl hits the land, which is called as landfall of the cyclone. With this, now you understand how cyclones are formed. In brief, warm water moving from high pressure to low pressure is subject to Coriolis force in process, which forms a cyclone. If you are able to understand this process, you should be able to ace the geography, as most of the concepts in geography revolves around these three core concepts. Thank you.